try again with your question.
I'm just saying, okay, so a smart woman is more likely that's more likely to increase her attractiveness to you than
Indeed.
a man being smarter.
Yes.
Okay,
Because
interesting, but
honestly, look, and I don't want this to go online to go online and be, shamed in the future. But honestly,
too late.
like I feel like I have more of it in terms of like sex sex appeal. Like the young dumb man is kind of I think more of my ideal for a man, but like for a woman, but
Well,
like the mature, smart woman.
right, but
So
are you are you more likely to be interested in a relationship with a woman or a man?
in general,
Yeah, if you could build your perfect creature, would it be a woman
I
or a
think he
man?
said
it's
a
hard.
woman.
It's a hard question to answer though, because like it also depends on like, well, how many partners do I think exist? And so like if I think there's more of one type, then I sort of naturally I would say, okay, I'm more interested in that. But it's a rough question. I think it's for me, it's easier to imagine one with a woman. Let's put it that way.
Or I guess it would depend on the connection you have with a certain man or woman.
Yeah.
Also, you might be able to click
Sure,
more with a certain type
but
of man than another woman or whatever.
I'm saying if he could build one, just he's able to program all the parameters of what this thing is. Would it be?
Um,
Would you make a man or a woman?
uh,
What about a lady boy? That's the best of both
Yeah,
worlds,
chick
right?
with a dick, maybe. Yeah,
sure, sure.
yeah.
I'll take
She would be a lady,
You got
but
the
you could
best of
suck
both
her
worlds
off.
right there.
it.
Every
Yeah.
fella's dream, a lady you can suck off.
We were missing the trans fetishism. There you go. Check.
Oh god.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's just what I think. I don't know it as a fact. I think that men are less likely to seek out smarts in a
Smart
woman
women,
than
no,
vice
for
versa.
sure. Something that I've observed. I have a lot of
See,
male
but I
friends,
don't
and
know.
yeah,
It's
it's
just,
not the
I've
smart
never
women they
observed that.
tend to go for more.
No, sorry, go ahead. I was just saying that honestly, though, I mean, I'm not in any way um, putting down or questioning your feeling, but I've never really experienced that, like personally, like, and
I know
that's
but
fair.
this
I
is
mean, I don't have friends and
it's
everything, so
it's what makes your viewpoint kind of interesting, and I think being
Mhm.
bi probably changes it.
yeah. But like being bi didn't make me have certain. Well, maybe it did. I don't know.
Well, it
But
makes you
like,
be attracted to cocks,
no, for sure. But I'm saying,
so it changes
I
something, right?
no, that's fair. But I'm saying that I did not have different friendships because of that, right? So basically, the observation I make in other people shouldn't be really very much affected by that. And that's what I'm claiming that when I observe other
But
people,
there's a
I
there's
don't
a
feel it.
wild variable. There's a big wild variable, you know.
Yeah, like, and that's it. It's, are you bisexual or pansexual? And that sometimes could
Okay.
be.
The only difference between those two words is how pretentious you want to sound.
Okay, okay. No, but some
Right.
people know because some people really do see it as something different. And I don't mean to be ignorant. I have friends who are
Yeah, no.
who are trans, non-binary, whatever. And I like to ask questions just to understand because I don't want to be ignorant or whatever. And I like to understand all the aspects, all the point of views, and whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
No,
it
I don't
wasn't an
care
ignorant
if,
question. I wasn't trying to be
No, I understand.
pretentious or ignorant. It was a really like legit question.
You know, I get it, but the thing is that I really don't see a difference, so I wouldn't really
Okay.
know for sure. But I mean, I'm just attracted to
People.
like my attraction is not dependent on the gender
Yeah.
presentation. Like,
A nice dirty hairy asshole. It could be a nice pussy. It doesn't
well,
really matter to him. That's the point.
maybe we should talk about the hairy part. But yeah,
A little less hairy. Okay.
I'm amazed that you're okay with the dirty part, but not the hairy part.
But yeah, the dirty asshole is kind of his thing, but the hair, yeah.
right.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm not presenting it as a rule across the board. I think I'm just speaking as often we have to speak in generalities. So
No, but I understand. What I'm saying is that in my frequentations, the people I know, I just don't see. Like I've never really observed that. I've always
the straight guys you've been around seem
Yeah.
to value like if they go out that night, they're like, man, I really want to meet a smart girl
I mean,
tonight that I can.
they might not say it, but in practice, from my observation of who they would be actually actually interested in, I think I am seeing a pattern that being smart is a big plus.
I think they might be more likely to be interested in a relationship with them. I just
that's
don't
for
think
sure.
it necessarily
But
makes them more attracted to them physically.
Well, okay, but that's the same.
I think
for-
no, but I'm saying a woman I think is more likely to want to fuck that part of him. Like if it's like a confident guy or smart guy, rich guy, whatever, those things I think make him more actually sexy. Whereas for a man, it doesn't make you more sexy. It just might make me more willing to agree to a relationship with you.
For me, it also makes him more sexy. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, it makes the real difference.
It would be interesting to see a survey because I'm just basing it off of like people I know and stuff like that. So it's the sample size I have to make generalizations is relatively small. This is just my perception of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So Darnell.
Yes.
Assuming you can recognize what that means, but does being smart turn you on in a lady?
Yes, actually, it does. Confidence, smart.
It turns you on.
And what do you call it? Of course it does. And
it turns you on
like a forceful will, like someone who's capable of fighting, like standing up for themselves and all that kind of shit. That shit turns me on like hardcore. Yeah, I like that shit without a doubt.
Well, I mean, I got all of that. Just saying.
Oh. Right, but we already established how much of a closeted gay man he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. We can't forget that. Huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Is that
Next
was
question.
that? Yeah.
Well, I mean, fuck.
Let's change the topic.
We can
Let's go
change
back
the topic.
to drugs. Wasn't that our topic? Drugs?
Yeah, well, it was perfect because technically the topic of drugs was an hour and 2 minutes long.
Oh,
so
okay.
I stopped, and then when we restarted, we switched it to.
Oh shit! It's already 8.
Yeah, so it was an hour and it was an hour and 2 minutes long. So I stopped the recording because I have to do it every hour, and then I restarted and we switched to sex, like the whole sex revenge porn, and that was great.
Okay, all right. I understand.
So if you guys want, we can switch.
I mean, it was kind of great that the only drug that actually was talked about essentially was pot for the entire.
Oh yeah, we pretty much compared more pot and alcohol more than anything.
It's the most popular drug. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
works. And I have very limited experience with stuff like cocaine and shit. So I don't even know what I would say about it other than it's like, I don't know, seemed overrated. Maybe I didn't take enough.
Oh, maybe I should say about one side effects of some I guess SSRIs, yeah, which is brain zaps. Have you ever guys experienced brain zaps?
What's a brain zap?
Okay, so first off, I didn't know about that there was a word for that. When I experienced them, I thought like I was gonna die and I was the only person who experienced that. Then I realized that actually it's a thing that other people experience. But basically, literally, for like a split second, you lose consciousness, sort of like you skip a split second of your life.
So there's a misfiring.
It feels like a shock. Like
so, as a result of drugs. What? Hold on.
It's with SSRI generally and other drugs like that. Like Wellbutrin. Sorry, not Wellbutrin. Wellbutrin doesn't. Anyway, that type of drug generally. And so yeah, basically you just skip. You like there's a tiny amount of your life that just skips because you feel like there's a shock that goes through you.
So wait, hold on. Let me see if I could describe what you're saying. Are you saying like all your senses shut off for a period, like a split second? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've never experienced that.
Skips a tiny amount of time. It's the first time really was very freakish.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I don't think I've had that. I've blacked out, but I haven't had that. I've had like memory where it's you wake up the next morning and legitimately have no idea. It's not just like foggy. It's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not there. But I
I've had
haven't
a bit,
had
but
to
that's
do.
it. It feels like a dream. I've had blackout, but
Yeah.
that no, I don't. I no.
I've had the waking up maybe 3 times in my life. It's been a long time since I have, but where the first thing you have to do is call someone to like make sure you didn't murder anybody.
Right,
And
right.
it's kind of, I legitimately have no idea how I even got to
How
this
bad of a
location.
fool of myself did I make last night?
Right, exactly. And then one of the times I remember I just talked about I just talked about Diablo 2 the whole time, like in an obnoxious, like horrible way that no one obviously
I
wanted
mean,
to hear. And I was like, okay, that sounds like me. I was still me. Good.
oh,
Yeah.
by the way, one of the freakish things that I've had with that type of like memory loss is one night
Uh-huh.
I was watching a movie with someone, like online, right? So remotely,
Okay.
and I was, I guess, so tired that I was texting the person. We were texting like, "Hey, look at this scene!" Like, "Ah, stupid something." I texted them several things happening in the movie, which I woke up from completely like not remembering at all. And then I asked the person like, "Did those things happen in the movie?" And they said yes. And it was like the weirdest thing. I also thought that was like, okay, I have cancer clearly or something.
I was gonna say,
Like,
do you think you have a brain tumor?
I mean, I really thought that that night, but Jesus.
Did you go to the hospitals to get checked?
Nah, stupid hospitals.
Don't
you know?
WebMD
Oh.
it, whatever you do.
Yeah. Don't,
Yeah.
don't. Do not.
Wait, hold on. What did you guys just say? Not to go to the
Do
hospital?
not WebMD it. No,
No,
don't WebMD it.
Oh, okay.
Because if you
But also
WebMD it, you're
hospitals,
definitely
You will die
dying.
tomorrow. Yeah, you will definitely die tomorrow.
But also hospitals are overrated. Most people die there. So
That's the point of a hospital. People go there either to get better or
Yeah.
die.
I'm not.
That's a
sorry.
chicken or the egg situation.
Yeah, no, not only that, but they do use chicken eggs for vaccines. So that's also
Oh
why they
yeah,
get
that's true.
vaccinated.
That's true.
Oh, there you
my
go.
god. Yeah.
Vaccination is really that this is important to do as soon as possible. But I mean, this is not to push you. It's just that
No. I agree.
Yeah.
And in the end, I see also a different thing. Is I think that, and in the end, yeah, and this kind of contradicts with my belief of freedom of choice. But in the end, we are overpopulated. Something needs to be
Sure.
done to stop the overpopulation, and that is the reason. And if we don't stop it, that is the reason why more diseases, more bacteria, more viruses are going to appear. And if you look at the whole evolution of the Earth, mammals.
Could you define what do you mean when you say overpopulated?
I mean, we are running out of resources because we look at humans in general. We
Which resources?
water, oil, trees, animals, fertile farming land. We are over farming so much because we want to feed so many people, and there's over farming, and fucking Earth is not fertile anymore. So how do you remake Earth fertile? There's erosion. There's so many environmental aspects only. So it's not only environmental. It's like biological. But then this is a whole other subject to get into also. But in the end, maybe we should focus on, sanitary measures, stop overpopulating, finding different ways to, different way, like different resource. I don't know, like there has to be other solutions, but I think one of the reasons why also there's so many diseases and things going around is overpopulation, unsanitary measures, and of course, especially when you go into poor areas. There's more overpopulation, less sanitary measures. Boom! It is a fucking breeding ground for all sorts of bacteria, viruses, diseases, whatever, and then that could spread.
So, well, this is a Darnell thing Darnell can get behind. So, with the overpopulation, we've got to kill it.
I was gonna say
Right?
that, like,
Right?
this is a perfect.
This is and this is really I don't even know if I should talk about this. Like, are we still being recorded? Are we still?
Yeah,
still
we're
gonna
still
put
recording.
this online?
If anything, I could cut it out.
Because
What's up?
and it totally contradicts with my belief to choose and have choice. In the end, if nothing happened, oh crap, I almost don't want to say this, but look, you need licenses to have
Say it.
fucking animals. Why can't we have licenses to have kids or reproduce? A lot of people
Ooh, the
do have
government
kids.
allowing you to.
well, in the end, I guess
Government
that would have
choosing
to
whether
be-
you're fit. I don't
Okay,
And
know.
that's what
This
sucks. And
lady
that's why
ain't
I'm saying it
qualifying.
contradicts. That's what I'm saying. It contradicts with my
This
freedom.
unvaccinated lady is not qualifying at all.
Look, no, and I'm very conscious that it
They're
contradicts.
going to install all kinds
Oh,
of
fuck
dams
off.
in that vagina if you don't want.
Hey, anyways, look. Anyways, I should just stop talking.
I hear
No,
you.
it's
But
okay,
as far as
Andrew,
I
it's okay.
understand, the birth rate's actually declining.
The birth,
compared to
but it
previous
depends
years.
where. It depends where, because I took even a
Yeah.
course on this. Birth rates are declining in countries that are developed. In countries that are developing or are third world countries, you have poof, and also depending on what their religious beliefs are in certain countries, they're going to pop out as many kids. Like, look, compare a poor country with a rich country, and then you have like let's say South Africa, where their birth, like they're going to have 8 kids, but then the death rate is very and what's it called? The birth infant death
Mortality?
rate could be very mortality rate. There you go.
Mhm.
Sorry. So that could be very infant mortality rate is very high and blah blah. But then you go to places where Saudi Arabia, where they have a high they have a lot of money, royal family, oil rules everything. They could and then because religious beliefs, you don't believe in birth control, so they have like freaking 12 kids. So it depends really on what country you're looking at. I find religion is going to play a factor. Your poverty level is going to play a factor. Intelligence level is going to play a factor. Most educated people, it is proven that most educated people have less kids than most educated people have less kids than least educated people.
Look, I agree with you. These dumb, uneducated foreigners do need to have less babies.
Hey,
We all
my
agree.
educated foreigners, okay?
We all agree about this. But
Okay. Oh my God. Listen,
but I think we
Angie,
can manage it. We can figure it out.
I
we figure
disagree.
it out
I
because
disagree with
humans
you,
are
Daniel.
stupid, as
We're not
you-
going to figure it out in time. There's no
Because
way.
humans make the same mistakes over and over and over, like you, Paul, and Essen were talking in your last podcast. Humans
Yes.
don't learn from their mistakes. So, we know we're
I don't know
overpopulated. Are
about
we going
that.
to stop reproducing? No, because we're selfish and we want kids.
I'm
That's
in
the thing.
favor of an Angie Darnell death squad. It's like like a purge
Yeah.
team sort of. Just roam around.
Well, we've got to thin out the herd. I mean, they must have been relieved when COVID came around. We got to thin out this herd.
Well,
And you know
I
what? Let me
think they
just
were
say, I'm
not
pretty
happy
sure a lot
because
of
they didn't
governments
kill kids.
were, because a lot of people who were weak, who were, dependent on life support, blah, blah, and did get hit with COVID and die. You don't think that was a relief for the government? That's less resources we have to pay out for people who are on life support and whatever.
Yeah, I'm skeptical of the government, but I
Yeah.
don't think they were cheering their death rate being higher than any other country.
Listen,
I
the
don't know.
problem with
Depending
COVID.
on their medical financial budget situation, whatever.
Listen, Andrew.
Very possible.
The problem that you're not realizing is that COVID stops the economy, and the economy is what governments rely on and all that kind of stuff.
No, the
This
thing
is one of the
the
reasons.
government
Yeah.
stopped the economy. Though I think there was other measures
No,
they could have taken
listen,
to keep it
Of
going.
course, but I'm saying the government want the vaccine out there as fast as possible, so the economy doesn't start tanking and all that
It
kind of
didn't
stuff.
affect the government. They still had the SQDCs and the SAQs open. They were still making their money.
Yeah, but this is because. Listen, Angie.
I'm
The
listening.
mere fact
I'm
that
listening.
you have to understand that
We're
Listen
discussing.
in,
I'm
if
honey.
companies and all these other things that pay taxes and pay rent for all these buildings and all this kind of stuff, these land taxes, if they start suffering or closing down, that kind of tanks the economy, right?
Yeah, but the government helped them out, just like the government is giving
Yeah,
CERB to
and
fucking everyone.
this is where the government fails, and this is an
That is where
argument
the
for another
government
day.
failed. Exactly.
Yes, but I'm trying to say, like, the reason why the vaccine is something that they want out there and they want as many people having it is because they don't want the economy to start tanking again if there's another shutdown or another variant that could potentially be worse and kill people at a higher rate.
As long as we're this many people in this world, there's going to be variants coming, just like the flu.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Okay. The
Unless
flu.
they find something, unless they find a vaccine that's going to actually create herd immunity.